As I said, out of thousands of people who have got a pilot license,
looking at the number
there will
of
be a percentage of people like this. The checks and balances, as I said, which are there in the system, need to be enforced.
Mr. Sharma,
so
can I
that
put a question to you?
people find it difficult to
exactly
get away with this kind of forgery.
Mr. Sharma, a straight question. Looking at the number of pilots who are now being accused of either having fake licenses or having fudged their mark sheet, would you still call it an aberration, or you find there's something seriously wrong that needs to be corrected and the people who are responsible to be taken to task? And as Mr. Sudhakar Reddy very rightly said, that you cannot have DGCA conducting an audit itself on their own jobs. It should be the CBI or some agency.
My question to Mr. Kola, who has been former DGCA, is Mr. Kola. Mr. Kola, do you think
if I may intercede for a second here.
I want to ask Mr. Kola. Mr. Kola, well, do you think that today the DGCA is in any position, to do an audit, to change the situation?
Well, I'll tell you from my own experience, DGCA is not powerless. The systems were there, but you see in any system with the time you find that the system weaknesses are there. In my time, I had found out that some candidates who have failed in India, they went abroad, I will not name the country, and within 1 month they passed all the written examinations in the other country. And when he came back India, we found that how it could happen. He failed in all the exams in India, in 1 month he passed out. And after that, we improved the system that we will not accept the written exams conducted outside. A composite paper was introduced consisting of all the subjects. And then we introduced that he will have to pass the Indian written examination also over and above.
If that is the case.
What I am trying to say is that system weaknesses do come across during the course of time and they have to be tackled.
I got to say something. Up to 1993.
Let me complete it.
Up to 1993.
With regard to DGCA.
Let him complete, yeah.
Hello, let me complete. With regard to DGCA, it has got all the powers and such type of deliberate violations. They are not violations, they are safety compromise of the public. Whether he gets the license by the fake number sheets or whether he gets the fake license with the false number of flying hours, in both the cases he is compromising safety of the public. And such cases have to be taken very seriously and deterrent action is required. Unless you take the deterrent action, there will be no fear. And
so that is the ideal situation.
Not stop it.
So that is the ideal situation. That is an ideal situation.
Flying training.
But my question is different.
Flying training.
How can the accused stand in judgment? How can the DGCA officials who have been overseeing this scam today sit in judgment and say, we will do the audit? My first question is, will that DGCA official's daughter, who has got into a private airline after being cleared by a local flying school, after being rejected by an American flying school, will there be action on that person? No. This is nepotism. You had a point to make.
I got a point. I got to say up to 1993.
Well, I don't know the individual case, but the DGCA has the full powers to take any action they want, whether it's the daughter or the DGCA or anybody, and they must take action.
Mr. Kola, if I can put a straight question, there's no denying the fact, till the 90s until even the year 2000, they were not a mad rush for pilot jobs. It's subsequent to the explosion in the Indian aviation industry that more people went in for pilot jobs. Was DGCA equipped to take care of this? That's the question. Number two, with the kind of scam that has emerged, why haven't the heads rolled in DGCA as yet? What are you waiting for? And on the other side, we are asking DGCA people to conduct an audit of the deeds of their own people. How can you find justice or the thing to emerge or to restore confidence in the traveling public that they are safe flying on Indian aircraft?
My question is to Kanu Gohain. And I'm coming to Captain Naik after that.
Even if you look at these pilots who have been caught, there has been that Rajasthan cases where the CFI was totally at fault in cahoots with the ATC person there. He has fudged the records and given them here. But having said that, sir, there are a maximum of 20 to 25 operating schools in India. For DGCA officials to say that they do not know what is the present status of flying, the number of aircrafts which every school has is living in a fool's paradise. They know exactly what is the state, how many aircraft are flying at which school.
All the flying,
and it is at some places, I definitely feel that it is not an error of omission, it is error of commission, where knowing fully well, a place where there's hardly any flying, there is 1.5 aircraft, and if they are showing flying of more than 800 hours and they don't have a fuel record, which shows fuel
absolutely.
bought commensurate to the amount of flying which has been done. Why was no action taken against people like that?
No, you see
today,
this finger pointing.
if you look at the system, and this is not something which has happened today, it's been going on for the last 30, 40 years. As I said, the systems exist.
Mr. Sharma,
today, an aircraft, when it takes off at my academy, there are entries at 5 different places.
Mr. Sharma,
there's a journey logbook, there's a ATC record, there's a authorization book, there is a hogs meter, and there is a fuel consumption meter.
Mr. Sharma,
all 5 places there is a record of each and every sortie which happens.
Mr. Sharma.
So for
Mr.
DGCA to check at any given time
Mr. Sharma,
that how much of flying is actually happening at an institute is not difficult.
Okay. Now, Mr. Sharma,
it is just a matter of enforcing the laws.
Mr. Sharma, can I just come in briefly? In fact, I must say, I correct myself before all my viewers tonight. I got my mathematics wrong. My mathematics are wrong because if on an average there are 300 fake pilots flying in cockpits 200 passengers each or 1,500 passengers each, then by a conservative estimate there are 45,000 to 60,000 passengers flying over Indian skies, not 6,000, whose lives are being put at risk because of these fake pilots. And my question to you, Kanu Gohain, is what is your responsibility? Because we are told, Mr. Kanu Gohain, that a number of these licenses which are under the scanner were issued during your time as head of the DGCA. Mr. Gohain, do you take some responsibility for something going wrong in your time?
No, if it is proved that these licenses were issued through some dubious methods, then the persons responsible needs to be taken to task. As Mr. Khola has explained, the rules are very clear in that matter. Even the conduct rules for the government officials are also very clear in this matter. But the question is that how these licenses have got issued. That is what is really required to be established. And then the loopholes in the system needs to be plugged immediately.
No, Mr. Gohain, you are saying that how these licenses are issued. You are in charge of the DGCA. You don't know how these licenses are issued.
See,
a pilot doesn't go and issue license for himself.
System.
Pilot doesn't go and issue license for himself.
That is true.
Who issues the license?
That is true,
your officials.
but when the logbooks, let me answer it, Arnab, give me an opportunity to answer it. When the licenses are issued, the various documents are checked. For example, the mark sheets. The mark sheets submitted in original are checked. The mark sheets are also checked, are required to be checked, not are checked, are required to be checked with the master result sheet. Now let us come to the logbooks. The logbooks are certified by the accountable, the flight instructors.
Yes, the logbook is certified by Mr. Sridhar, a person like Mr. Sridhar, who can take the students to some remote place and do 50-60 hours of flying, and remaining 200 hours he can fill up by himself and get it stamped and certified.
I think, Arnab,
no, that's it. No, this is. I don't see anyone taking responsibility tonight.
But tell me one thing, Mr. I'm not. Excuse me.
What do you want?
I want to say that up to 90 and 93, everything is going very smoothly. How suddenly after 93 onward, when this rush has come, people have started failing the exams? No one passes. Only 2% and 3% people are passing the exam. Are you trying to tell me
what are you saying? Can we be clear? Are you saying people are deliberately being failed?
Yes,
so that they pay money and get passed?
5 lakhs to 7 lakhs.
Yeah.
Is that?
Let me add to the statistics.
That is what I want to say. I want to allege.
Now can I come in?
You pay 5 lakhs to 7 lakhs rupees.
Arnab, can I come in
just
here?
2 days back, the last CPL exam which was held, that result has come out for the technical general exam for CPL. The pass percentage is 1.4%, if I have my facts
Where
right.
is it? 1.4%. You mean to all the people who appeared for the exam are dumps? They cannot pass the exam.
No, but the director air safety, the director
yeah, but his daughter
one minute. Let's put the facts out. The director air safety's daughter
can pass,
who as per an American institution's records had a fear of flying. She passed the exam.
Yes, she passed.
She got a clearance from the DGC and she's flying for a private airline.
Yes,
I don't know why the civil aviation minister is not doing anything about that.
And who has done a checks from which exam she has passed? And who has passed the exams? It's the pass.
Let's accept it. There is nepotism. This is nepotism, Mr. Reddy. Nepotism that is affecting and directly impacting on 60,000 lives of people flying in the air every day.
You see, Arnab, I feel all those who have been caught till today and the further investigations that are going to take place,
don't tell me about what they've caught it in the recent pit. What about the so many months it has been
Let him complete. Let Mr. Reddy complete. Yeah.
They must be all booked under criminal conspiracy because it tantamounts to murder of, citizens of India and those visiting India. And as you rightly said, if more than 60,000 people, I would correct you, it is not 60,000. A pilot who takes off in the morning, he flies at least 2 or 3 sectors depending on the FDTL. So it is many more than that. And we are playing with the lives of almost a lakh of people every day.
I don't see anyone
And
taking
it is a
responsibility
dangerous
tonight.
thing.
No one takes.
No, I want to ask Mr. Kola and Mr. Kanu Gohain. I again correct myself a second time, and this is really the biggest story of the year so far. That Mr. Gohain, you say you don't know. Mr.
Yeah.
Kola, you say you don't know.
No,
but
no,
the
no,
facts
the
are
point
100,000 passengers' lives are being put at risk because of fake pilots, many of whom were issued licenses probably in your times as well.